Lifestyles.
Determination.
Trials.
Condition.
How are these four things relatively related? Let's find out. Welcome to Relatively Related. I'm your host, Trudy.
And I'm Troy Penny.
And I'm Tarrie Phillip.
And I'm Tarrie Phillip.
And today is our recap episode where we're going to just talk about our August challenge, how it went, what our successes were. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. So let's get started, guys. So, Troy, how was your August challenge?
Oh God, my August challenge was a challenge indeed. Yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest things I've had to do, and it's gonna be one of the hardest things that I'm gonna continue doing because.
So you are gonna continue after?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue after. I'm gonna be doing this for at least a year now.
Okay.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what my.
So you will be ripped
Yeah,
after.
I will be ripped.
I like that because like these things, I mean,
It
they don't
takes
happen
time,
overnight,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah, they don't happen overnight. So, and that's one thing I'm learning, and that's one thing that sucks about this whole thing is that it's not happening overnight. But yeah, I'm doing the best that I can. So that's all I can say.
Sounds good. Terry,
stuff.
how was it going for you?
The challenge went well. I was able to complete my half marathon. So
Yay!
I feel good about that. My next step, I don't know if I want to do a full marathon, but I'm just basking in the glory of completing a half marathon.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
I mean, since like just to connect to Troy, since he's doing it over a year, maybe in the next year you could try to
That's
get
true.
to the full marathon. But
Yeah.
yeah, the half marathon, that's a good
Yeah.
accomplishment.
My main thing is that I want to celebrate what I did. Like, I'm not just going to be like my next
Yeah.
step. I'm just celebrating that I was able to do my half marathon because, 3 or 4 years ago, there was no way I believe I could have ran a half marathon. So I'm just happy I was able to accomplish it.
Good stuff.
And that's such a I feel like we should give him a round of applause.
Yeah, that
because
is good.
yeah,
That is really good.
Thank you.
That is good.
yeah, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, over
know.
20 kilometers is
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
joke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Okay.
Good job. How much miles? It's 13 miles, right?
It's 13.1 when you just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's why they
Canadian
have
thing.
the fish with the numbers. We used to see when we were in America, like people with the number on the back of their car.
You know what? I understand it now because now
You're
I feel like I
proud.
want to go get my.
You're proud. You want to get your...
It's a good achievement to
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Terry, what
So-
about you?
For me, it's like today, my word, as you know, is trials, right? So not trials as in, trials and tribulations that I went through. It's sort of like trial and error. Because like I tried a number of different things. Like I tried, the first week was just eating proper, like one meal. Then I tried like doing a little bit more cardio. And then I did weights for the rest of the time, lifting
wow.
weights. Yeah. So just kind of trials. And like, I didn't get, I wanted to lose like 18 pounds, I think. Because when I checked, I was like 210. I wanted to get to like 190, 189 or whatever. I didn't get there, but I lost 10 pounds in a month.
That's
Yeah.
that's
It's
really
not
good.
bad.
No,
Like,
that's really
it's
good.
not
That's not
bad.
just
So-
bad. That's just really good.
I'm not fully there, but
Yeah.
like at least, it's just trials. I tried different things. And as with Troy said, I'm going to try to try new things again,
Yeah.
but extend it longer. I'm not going to stop now that the month is over.
and still try to accomplish your goal of getting down to 180.
Yeah,
Nine, right?
once September comes, I am going to keep going, keep trying. So, yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And then
What about
last but
you,
not
Trudy?
least, Trudy.
Yes.
How was your
So,
challenge?
it was really good because my thing was consistency,
Yeah.
right? So it wasn't like I had like a weight loss goal or anything like that. And it was good. Like I was able to remain consistent. You know, I did my
Yours was
exercise.
exercise
Yeah,
every day,
doing the
right?
Chloe
Oh.
thing. Yeah, exercising every day, with obviously active rest. So it's still you're
Yeah.
working out every
Yeah.
day, and yeah, I was able to do that.
Oh,
So
good job.
Yeah, she
it was
actually
good.
did
It
it.
was
Yeah.
good. It was good. There were days where like you
Yeah,
just
it was
wanted to
good.
go and sleep, but I was like, no,
Especially
do the
No, no, no.
because
exercise.
I was doing inactive rest. So
Yeah.
whenever
There's no
so
such
I
thing.
was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday I'm exercising, and then the days when I'm not exercising, I'm not exercising.
Not a
I guess
thing the
those
guy
days
would
were
do it.
really bad for you because like,
I'm like-
she'll be like exercising there, and I'm just like lying back not reading a book, like
Should've
playing
there.
a game or something.
Yeah. You're being a very unsupporting husband.
Yeah.
But that was good
Unsupporting
that
at
you were
all.
still able to do that
Yes,
despite
yes,
that,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And you know, while I was exercising, I'm just like, look at me, Tarrie. Look at me. I'm doing it, huh?
And I'm just like, that's not bothering
It didn't
me.
move him
Tarrie,
one
that's
bit.
gonna make
It
me
didn't
want
move him
to.
one bit.
Yeah, but you did good. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did stick to it.
That's good to hear.
Yes,
very
thanks,
good. I'm
thanks.
very
No, are you
thanks.
gonna try to continue it?
Yes. So
Obviously,
I want
maybe
to-
not every day, but
Well, no, as I'm gonna talk about now, my thing is with doing exercise consistently, what I found is you kind of develop that kind of routine. Like your
Yeah.
body's just like, oh, I like
Yeah.
this thing, you know. And yeah, Terry would definitely
yeah,
know
yeah,
this with the
yeah,
running,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I feel so like not myself
When you don't
when I
do it,
don't
yeah.
run. Like the days that I have to run, if I don't get to do it, I'm just like, there's something wrong. I need to
Something's
go.
missing.
I need to go do at least, a little jog, a little run.
Yeah, no, I
somewhere.
don't feel that way at all. I don't feel that way.
I was looking
Not
at
one
Troy,
bit.
and Troy just
Not
like,
one
no,
bit. No. I want to stop doing this all the time.
Yeah.
But,
And isn't it good
yeah.
when you like, you're like, like you're getting through the pain anyway. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
kind of, but I'm saying like for people who don't feel like you and Trudy feels,
Mm-hmm.
it could be good too, like to like know that you felt pain or it was hard for you, but you still like persevered
with it,
through
yeah.
it, right?
That's
Like
true.
Yeah.
that could be good.
So
too.
that just kind of goes perfectly into the word that I have is lifestyle. So with
Okay.
consistency, that just kind of helped me develop an active lifestyle. So that was what I got from this whole process. I know we talked about this being an input and output type of system. So by inputting consistency, the output that I found was I developed this new lifestyle. So
Yeah.
that's really what helped me. So my question to you guys is this: how consistent were you with your challenges?
I'm gonna let someone else answer because
Uh,
yeah.
Honesty is good. Come on, Troy, you can share with us.
Honesty is good, but I'm gonna let Ty speak
I could
himself.
I could jump off. Definitely, and I'm sure you guys all had the same experience. At the start, it's easier to be consistent because you're like you're riding off of that initial. So yeah, definitely that first couple weeks, I was consistent for most part. Like I was eating just the one meal and I was exercising. It's just near the end we had like our anniversary, so we spent a couple days away. We didn't leave the country because of the virus and stuff, but we spent a couple days away, and like because of in that time we were celebrating our anniversary, so we just kind of ate whatever. But like other than that, I was pretty consistent with like sticking to my meals and stuff. So it's kind of like ups and downs. That's why I said like it's kind of like sometimes you're doing well, other times you may not be doing the best. But one thing that I reminded consistently throughout the time period is to get back to what your initial mindset was. And the way I did that was like, okay, what was my goal from the start? So if I remind myself of that, then I can get back to where I need to get to. So yeah.
What about you, Terry?
Well, for me with the trying to run this half marathon, consistency was really good for me because again, I actually enjoy running, so it wasn't hard for me to like the days that I had scheduled for running. It wasn't hard for me to not do it. So I was pretty consistent, and I just had my mindset that regardless of whatever is happening, I'm gonna do this at the end of it. I know that, I could think I don't really have to do it because I can always do it another time. But my mindset was just like, no, I'm going to get this done within that month. And even when because I told you guys, even when you look up about training for a half marathon, they usually don't say to do it within 4 weeks. generally speaking, give yourself at least 2 months, right? I was trying to cram it in into 1 month. I know I've been running a bit before, so it's a little bit easier. But even then, you just need to gradually progress along the
It's
way.
not just
But
a ramp up.
yeah, but I just ramped it up. So, but I was consistent with it, so I was happy with my how consistent I
And you
was.
did
That-
it, right? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the good
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Sometimes like the recommendations are obviously good, health reasons and stuff, but sometimes you have to know yourself. That reminded me of what you said, Troy, a couple of weeks ago, that when you started like changing your food, you just basically did it cold turkey. Like they may have recommended to slowly, drop this from your diet, then drop that, then
Yeah.
but you just like the next day you're just like, no, I'm not gonna eat that type of stuff
Yeah, no, I
anymore.
have no time for
Yeah.
no, just let's get it done immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to know yourself, right?
Yeah. I guess for me, consistency was one of those things that was difficult for me on this
Okay.
one. And I know a lot of people could relate because like
Mm-hmm.
I started it off well with like the first week, second week, but like coming closer to like the third week, I just kind of like was like, all right, well, I've been doing this
Mm-hmm.
well. I'm just gonna kind of like take it easy. And then like one day I took off, then one day turned to 2 days, and
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
then because I did it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if I took 2 days off, Wednesday's my rest day.
Yeah.
So like obviously I'm going to rest on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah,
even
oh,
though
yeah, I
haven't
see what
been
you're
doing
saying, yeah.
anything. And then it was kind of hard to get back on in the third
Yes.
week, but then I ended up getting back in like the fourth week and stuff.
That's
I-
good.
Mm-hmm.
I finished strong, but the thing is, yeah, for me, my word is determination. So it's just like I just need to be determined, and I need to constantly, remind myself of what I want, which is to get ripped,
Yeah.
and then that I'll be fine. But
That's
That's
good.
good.
And the
Thanks
thing
for
is,
your honesty.
as you shared that, Troy, a point that I just wanted to share with the podcast is
the family.
the family is sometimes what I've realized, like just from going through this challenge, sometimes those days off can really throw things off, right? Like, and I think
Yeah,
we talked
for
about
sure.
this like from the first series about momentum. When you break that momentum, sometimes it's really hard to get back on track, right?
Yep.
And I think that's what really helped me this time around because, as I said before, like in the past, like I've worked out. I had goals where it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna work out 3 to 4 times for the week. You always hear people saying that 3 to 4 times for the week, but that never really stuck with me. And I
As
realized
you
that
lost momentum.
yeah, because the times when you're not working out, so if you're doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the Tuesdays, okay, I completely lost my
Yeah.
the Tuesdays,
Yeah,
Thursdays,
yeah,
Saturday, and Sundays or whatever. When you take that time off and you're not doing an active rest, like where you're still doing
At
something,
least doing a walk.
You're
yeah,
just
at
trying
least
to
a walk or
advocate for
something.
active
But I'm saying, if you're not doing anything, then you just kind of lose the momentum, and that's why I think in the past I never was able to be consistent with it, and now because I was doing it every single day with some active rest, I developed the habit, consistency,
Yeah.
and it turned into a lifestyle. So that was a key thing, and I would just definitely say to our family members listening, if you want to develop a lifestyle of staying active and healthy, I would suggest doing a 30-day challenge to get started.
To get started.
Yeah, because at least this way okay, I'm doing this thing consistently, and then by the end of the 30 days, it should become a habit for you. So I don't know if that was the case for most of you.
Yeah.
After doing the 30 days, it's now a habit, but I know for me that was the case.
I
So,
think it's definitely becoming a habit for me because it's one of those things where I have to actually, well, I've scheduled time out of my day to do it. So anytime that time comes around or it's getting close to that time,
You
then my
know.
body's like, okay, it's time to
You
work
gotta
out.
do
It's
it.
time to do this thing. So yeah, that's definitely something that has stuck with me throughout
No,
this whole
I agree with that because even with my process with running, it didn't come naturally, right? I just had to get into that lifestyle of having those set days where I have to run. Like my running days were Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, right? So each time those set days come, because I have that routine in my mind, I schedule that time, and regardless of whatever is happening, those are my days that I had to run.
Yeah.
So once
Yeah.
you get into it, it's a lot easier.
And I think with the whole concept of the lifestyle thing, it's much easier when you're like, okay, this is my new lifestyle. That's how like, especially when it comes to food, and I find there's a kind of negative association or negative connotation with diets, right? Like it's kind of like, oh my gosh, not another diet. There's so many, but if you're like, okay, let's change our lifestyle. I had an unhealthy lifestyle before. I was eating bad or whatever, but now I'm gonna change my lifestyle because I want to be around a long time. I think Troy, we was talking this morning, and you're like, I want to be around for a long
Yeah,
time.
till I'm like at least 103.
Yeah, so like you got in order to do that, you have to have a healthy lifestyle. So if you just accept lifestyle rather than things, so that's one of the lessons I learned with my one word being trials. It's like, yes, there may be different things that I need to try to get to where I need to get to. However, as long as I'm approaching it from a mindset of like I have a changed lifestyle, it makes it a lot more easy and refreshing. It's like, okay, this is who I am now. It's not like something I don't want to do, or like a bad diet that I'm just trying to force to lose some weight. It's just like, this is who I am. That's how I'm eating now. So yeah.
And one other thing I want to add to, it's one thing that this challenge taught me, my challenge taught me, was it's not going to look pretty. Like this whole process is not going to look pretty at all. It's not going to be clear cut. You're not going to be losing weight every single day. You're going to fluctuate. You're going to go up, you're going to go down. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. So that's definitely one thing I would recommend to people, is to remember that it's not everything's not gonna be perfect.
So, how would you say this relates to your word determination?
Okay, so since my word was determination and your word was consistency.
Oh,
So,
lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Yeah,
Lifestyle,
yeah,
yeah.
lifestyle. Yeah, you need to have a mindset of determination if you want any lifestyle to work out. And one thing that this whole thing taught me was that, bro, you need to like be your own coach, and you need to be your own motivator.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, I agree with that.
there were those days where I was like, man, where I look at the workout and I'm thinking to myself, I do not want to do this workout
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Like, there were, again, those ones where I had to literally flip
On your
upside
head.
down on my head. Guys, I'm telling you, I hate that workout. I don't know what it's like. I don't know the name because like I don't care to know the name. There's so many names for all these workouts, but like, yeah, you have to be determined, and you have to just say, okay, you know what? Even though no one's around to tell me get up and go do this thing,
Yeah.
like that determination needs to be within you. And one tip that I can give you is remember your end goal. That's the best way to get to your end goal, is to remember that it's there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just
I like that one that you said, remember your end goal, because throughout my whole process, I kept remembering this is my end goal, to run this half marathon. Even while I was running my half marathon, it was by no means as easy as I thought it would have been.
yeah.
Even though, like, you guys know, I ran often, I thought that it would have been, around it, just up and up the mileage, but it was very difficult. But yeah, you got to be your own motivator on the road, because there was a certain point during my half marathon where I reached around 12 kilometers and my legs were just about to give out. Like, it really
And
was.
you're like, I'm only halfway.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm only halfway done. What am I going to do? How am I going to complete this? And I just had to psych up myself, remember my end goal. The great thing about it, too, is that I happened to run into this person who I met along the road. And he saw me, like, slowing down or whatnot. And he came up to me and he's like, oh.
But you guys were still running.
We
right?
were still
Oh, okay.
running, and we
I
were
was
just
gonna
having
say,
a,
like, did you
a
lose your-
conversation. No, we were just having a conversation, and he's like, how much are you running today? And I told him I'm doing a half marathon. He's like, oh, wow, I'm doing that too. So I told him, yeah, I'm at 12K right now. He's like, good. He's like, just keep going, man. Put one foot in front of the next.
Yeah, man.
And I just kept remembering that remember your end goal, just keep pushing through. And the reason why condition is my word is that you have to have the right condition going into any challenge you have, right? Just having that mindset that make sure that you have the right condition going
So
into
like
it.
your mental.
Your mental, your physical, all those,
Okay.
all part of your condition. Because even for me, even though I could have the right mentality, if my condition in terms of my physical is
Yeah.
not
If you're a
right,
couch potato,
there's
it's like,
nowhere I'll
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to accomplish it, right? So that was my one word, just having that right condition,
Yeah.
both physical and mental. Because you could have the physical, but if the mental, if that
Yeah.
determination is
Yeah.
not there, if that lifestyle is
Mm-hmm.
not there, there's no way you're gonna be able to complete it, right?
And that reminds me like why some athletes, it's like they'll be like, this guy is really talented, but somehow he can never.
Yeah.
It's like he might be talented physically as someone else, like other athletes, but they don't have that mental conditioning to like take them to the next step, right? So
Mm-hmm.
No, when doing like if you watch some of the Olympics and stuff like that, and you see people run the full marathon, sometimes you'll see an Olympic athlete just stop. And I remember at one Olympic there was this British marathoner. She was one of her name had left my mind, but she just stopped on the road and she just started to cry because she, you reach a point where you hit that wall, right? And you have to, even though you're physically ready,
Yeah.
your mentality just
It's not there.
breaks, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it could happen, but that's why it's all encompassed. Like you have to be physical and mentally. And just 5 things that I've learned about doing this marathon, which I'm gonna share with the podcasters and our family and
My
you
family.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 5, which I thought was really good. You might laugh, but it's actually really important. Washroom.
Okay, I want to see where you're going with this.
The reason why I mentioned washroom is that remember that you're gonna be potentially running for. I did it in an hour and 57 minutes. I remember the time because that's important to me. I did it on the 2 hours. But anyhow, for that 2 hours, so you're not gonna have a washroom break.
Yeah.
So make sure along the way, even before that, you empty out your full bladder. Use the washroom as much as you can beforehand.
And do you run drinking water?
I try not to.
Okay.
And that's one of my points also, which I'm going to mention. I remember on earlier up in my run, like I didn't use the washroom. And then I was doing like a 12K and I needed to use the washroom really badly. So just remember, that's one thing I remember. Using the washroom. Another thing that was important was your meal, your post meal, and your meal after. Your pre meal. For me, I like to run on a very light stomach. So one of the things that I may have before I do my long run, it's just like a fruit. Banana has a lot of potassium and stuff like that, so I use that. Some people might eat an apple. That's very good. Try not to eat like a big breakfast, like your sausages, bacon, eggs, and stuff like that, because those things can really affect you when you're running. So that was one of the things that I remember. And your post meal, make sure you have a lot of protein, because after I did, just to give you guys an example, after I did that half marathon, within that 2 hours, I lost 4 pounds, right? So that's a lot of weight.
Wait, what? Within the 2 hours,
Yeah,
you lost 4
because
pounds. In the day?
no.
Oh.
So you checked your weight before?
I checked my weight
Okay,
before,
okay.
and I checked my weight after, and I lost 4 pounds just by running that half.
Wow, I should
marathon,
run
right?
every day.
Oh my God.
So you need a lot of meal after, right? So after I did that, I ate like a whole bunch of
Protein.
I ate like a lot of protein just to have that refuel, because you're draining a lot of energy.
Yeah, you'd need to. Eat
Yeah,
that
so you
stuff.
need to, and again, beforehand, make sure you don't go all crazy, because you're going to do a big workout. You think you can go crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to affect you while you're running. 'Cause,
No, yeah, that's.
and this goes back to when I was really young. I was a really good runner, like short distance runner, and I made it to like the quarterfinals or whatnot. And the weight between was a long rate, and I had like a big lunch in between. and I was not able to
Run
do
again.
that.
Yeah.
It was the first time I finished dead last in that race, and it wasn't good at all. So just know that. Another thing that I what's important is your warm up, and you want to have a dynamic warm up. You just don't want to stretch like in grade school and stuff like that. They tell you to stretch before you're running. That's good, but make sure it's a dynamic warm up where you're like your whole body is involved. You somewhat simulate running because for the best time, because if you want to do a best time, you want to make sure your legs is all warmed up. So I did some sprints beforehand just to get the blood running. I stretched my body, make sure it's good. I did a good, nice dynamic warm up, and that's important before you run. Another thing that is really important is your form and your breathing. And when you're running, you want to make sure that your back is straight and that you're breathing through your nose and your mouth at the same time because you don't want to have a preference. If you're breathing through your nostril only, you're not going to get enough oxygen in. If you're breathing through your mouth only, you're going to get too much oxygen in. So that's when you get those side pains and everything like that. So you want to focus.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, no, it's those things that I learned just by trial and error, as Tarrie mentioned, right? But you
Pretty
want
good.
to you want to focus on your running and also make sure that you have the perfect form. I know it's really hard because once you're running so long, your form tend to fall off. Generally speaking, when people running, when they get tired, they lean forward, right? But when you're leaning forward, you use a lot more energy leaning forward. So what you want to try and do, always have your back straight and just run with your back straight and you're looking upwards. Because once you're looking upwards, it's a lot easier to run. So even though you're tired, just have that mentality. Let me just have the perfect form, and you'll see a big difference. So that's one of the things that I remember. Just because at the end, I'm like, I'm almost there. Let me just look down. I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
looking for no, but look, keep your eyes up. Make sure your back is straight and keep going forward. And it also prevents you from injury, right? If you're always leaning forward, your back is gonna hurt after, right? So just always try to have that perfect form, even though you're tired.
See, I have been running in the bowing position. I'm just like, oh God, I'm defeated. So okay,
But
now
you
that I
use
know that.
but you use
Yeah.
a lot more energy.
So it's actually making you more tired.
Yeah, you want to consume as much energy. If you have the right form, you're going to save more energy. And at the end, because you're running for such a long period of time, the best way you want to consume as much energy as you can, right?
Yeah.
So if you have that perfect form, it plays a big difference.
Dang, I did not know
Good
any
stuff.
stuff, man.
And the number 2 point that I have is your pacing, and everyone knows about that, how important your pace is into it. Generally speaking, when you start off, you want to go really fast, right? And that's something that I did, even in my half marathon. Even though I know that patience is important because you have so much energy, you're ready to go. I tried to have my last 5 kilometer, my fastest kilometer. I was not able to do that in this one, which I was a little bit disappointed of because I paid for it at the end. I went out way too fast. Like my first 5 kilometers was how much? It was about 5 minutes. No, 25 minutes and something, which is way too fast for your first 5 kilometers for me. In
You know how long
in a
it takes me to do a 5K?
5K, I know. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh.
yeah,
He did
but
5K in
in
25
25
minutes.
minutes.
but that's
crazy.
way too fast for me when you're doing a half marathon, right? For me,
Okay, yeah.
because I want to try to make sure that it's around 30 minutes, so which would be easier to maintain. So I did pay for it at the end. As I said, the last 5 kilometer was a struggle for me. Even when I reached the middle, I was feeling it, and I'm just grateful that I did meet that guy who just gave me that word
Boost.
word of encouragement through it. So your pace is really important because if you start off too fast, you're gonna pay for it at the end. So just, anyone who's running a half marathon know that the pacing is important. And the main thing that I got from it, and it goes back to Trudy word, she mentioned it also, is consistency. Like it's so important to be consistent throughout. Even if you're having those, because with my process, right, there was days where I did not want to run. Like I did not want to get up. Like my legs were hurting me. I told you guys, like I twisted my ankle once, right?
What?
Yeah.
When? You did not tell me this.
While he was
I did not know
practicing.
this.
I twisted my ankle on one of the days, right? And I'm just like, this is a legit reason that I shouldn't run. But I still got up there. I did some ankle exercise to make sure that I can actually run, and I did run. But you do have to be
Tarrie is a beast.
you do have to be consistent if you want to achieve any goal. So
Yeah.
those were 5 things that I thought was really
No, those were
important.
really good. I really like those points, and like, it sounds like you're a pro at running, and that your podcast about running is gonna be good, because that's gonna be
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
advice you can share
Yeah.
with everyone. Yeah.
That
I'm
sounds
not a
good.
pro by any means, but I just the things that I learn along the way, I like to share it with others, because we don't want to make the same mistake, right? And it may not necessarily work for you, but it definitely worked for me, right?
Okay, good stuff.
I
Like,
think your podcast name should be From Beginner to Pro.
actually, that makes a lot
That's
of
a
sense.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Beginner to
you! I
pro.
like that
Beginner to
name.
pro.
I like
Yeah.
that name.
Beginner to Pro, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have your motivational talk at the end. Yeah, I like that, Troy.
Yeah.
For me, it's not like I don't have that many takeaways. It's throughout the month. As I mentioned, I did lose some of the weight, not all of it, but I'm happy with my progress, because I set this lofty goal, and then when I was looking at like other people, like other websites and stuff, they were like, oh, try to lose a pound a week. So like 4 pounds a month, or like 5 pounds a month, or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I did double that. So I feel pretty good about where I am. But the main takeaway for me is that, like, with the trials, why my word is trials, is that you have to learn your body and know what
Yeah.
works for
Yeah.
you. It doesn't matter what, like, I mean, it does matter to the sense of like gaining knowledge, but it doesn't matter what they say, what other sides say, or what other people say. You have to know what works for you. Like, someone can say, you know what, like, I'm a vegetarian and I only eat. That could be fine for you, for if you in your journey, right? Like, but if I'm trying to have a lifestyle, right, to change my lifestyle, I have to think, okay, what's something that's sustainable that I can do, not just for this month, because I think Troy established a couple weeks ago. He said we're gonna keep doing this after, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm thinking, what's something I can do for my lifestyle? And like, to me, it's like, okay, yeah, I want to be able to eat certain things, but I prefer, like, if I'm just eating that one meal for the day, and then
Yeah.
I'm good for that, right? So like, one of the things that I learned with trials is that, like, know what works for you. So for example, there was a time when I tried, like, with the weightlifting, and I'm like, oh, I find I'm stalled, right? Like, I actually enjoyed the weightlifting
Yeah.
more than the cardio, but I'm like, I find I'm stalled. So some people were saying, like, so you're forced to, you automatically think, oh, it's because I'm lifting weight, but that's not true. You can actually lose weight. Trudy and I was talking about this morning while lifting weight. So I think I'm going to keep trying to do that after the month. I'm going to try to keep lifting weights. Not I'm going to try. I will keep lifting weights after the month, and keep going with the one meal, and just keep going from there. But yeah, it's been a good journey. Like, ups and downs. Sort of, some days you're like, why am I doing this? But for the
Yeah.
most part, remembering why you're doing this and what your actual goal is really helped me to kind of get there. So yeah, it's, one of the points I have here is that it is commonly said that building muscle is the key to increasing your resting metabolism, and that's like how many calories you burn while you're resting, right? So that's something I learned. It's like, maybe I might feel like I burned more calories when I actually did like a cardio workout, which is true. But then after, with the weightlifting, it's like, it helps you on the days when you're not
Yeah.
working out to still be burning calories. So I'm like, that's pretty
Yeah,
good. Like
yeah.
to know that, okay, I'm not working out, but I'm still
Yeah.
actively. So that's why I said I'm going to try to transition that. And I've never in the past, I've always done cardio. I've never done like weightlifting sustained for more than like 2 weeks or whatever. So I'm going to keep doing that this time around.
So now
That's-
Tarrie's gonna get ripped, right?
No,
Tarrie's gonna look ripped.
I'm not trying to do the rip thing too. I'm just trying to do it for like to help with the
But I
sustained
think
weight
you would
loss.
look
Yeah,
good
you have the
looking.
physique for
yeah,
it.
You
Well,
have the
yeah.
physique. Yeah,
You're
natural.
gonna look
good.
very scary. Yeah, very
No,
scary.
Troy is going for the rip. I'm going for the prolonged sustained
I'm
weight
trying to-
loss.
But along the way, you
You
will
have to
get
get
ripped.
ripped.
Yeah.
That's the end result of it.
Yeah, you're gonna get very ripped.
You
Like-
guys are putting that out there, and then when the family sees I'm not ripped, they're gonna be like, "What a disappointment this guy is."
It's
I'm trying to
accountability,
rein it
man.
in.
Accountability.
Yeah, so that's all. That's what I learned. It was a good month, and
Yeah.
I
That's
want to
good.
thank
That's
you
the
guys
main thing.
for the challenge because like I always remember throughout the time that Troy's doing it too, Tarrie's doing it too, Trudy's doing it too. So it kind of motivated me as well.
And one thing to remember too, because I remember from your story, that man that you met that was talking
Yeah.
to you, and you guys were both
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the same thing. That helped. Like, as we're doing our challenges and all that stuff, like remember to give your friends a
Yeah.
word of
That's
encouragement.
that's
That
really good.
it may seem very small, but to them that'll be the world, and it's not gonna take anything from you
No.
to just be like, hey Trudy, I know you're doing this thing, keep doing it, you're gonna make it or whatever. Like just be positive, be that positive motivation for them, and like getting those texts, it's honestly like really really nice.
It's
So
good.
I'm just saying, guys, be nice to one another, and like again,
Encourage each other.
encourage each other.
It goes a long way. It may seem small, but it makes a big impact on the next person.
So
Yeah.
basically, take some time to think of those around you that are like involved in things like this, and also if they're not, to encourage them to like have healthy lifestyles. Right? Take some time to do that, and then once you know what people are doing, actually actively like encourage people. Sometimes we have these very base level conversations. It's like, oh, how are you? I'm fine. How's the weather? Kind of thing. No, like genuinely send something from the heart to someone to encourage them, because it goes a long way. Yeah, that guy you saw,
Yeah,
like when
man.
you talked about it, it was like in my head, I'm like, that could be a story right there. Someone at the point of quitting, and a guy
Somebody
just
comes
comes along.
I needed that.
You can do
I
it,
honestly needed that. I needed that.
Terry's whole progression is a story because
Yeah.
he sprained his ankle. That's conflict. Like, like, that's the inciting incident. Like that's okay, he can stop here, but then he kept on going, and then
Yeah.
he met that guy who told him to keep going. Like
The comedic element, he wanted to pee, and
yeah, he wanted to pee, but then he didn't. But yeah, like that's
could be a
a
story,
very
yeah.
it's a very good thing. And if you don't have people to encourage, use this fan base or this group base as a thing,
yeah.
as a place where you can go and like talk to people and
Yeah.
encourage them, because everyone in the family, we hope, is also doing challenges as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It would be sad for you to be listening to our podcast and like just going back, sit on your couch watching TV the whole day, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you have
yeah.
to, like, we want you to
we
do
want
challenges
you,
as well.
we want
yeah.
you to be better. That's our goal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So thank you for joining us today on this episode. So as we look at the 4 words, we have to make sure that we take the trial and errors. So figuring out what actually works for us, and using that, be determined. Have determination that, you know what, I can do this. I'm going to get to the place where I'm going to condition my body, my mind, my spirit, everything. Condition yourself, and as you remain consistent, that will ultimately lead to a lifestyle of health and fitness. So thank you for joining us today. Rate, comment, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.